A few days ago, a Chinese AI model named DeepSeek came onto the scene, and its arrival shook OpenAI and other chatbots. I made a video on this topic, but for Christ's sake, it barely got any views. Anyway, today, we are going to use DeepSeek to learn some
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. DeepSeek was better when no one knew about it. Like DeepSeek was such a enforcer when it came to me and my workflow. It was DeepSeek and GPT before niggas knew about it. Like I felt like I had a premium plan GPT and DeepSeek, right? And with GPT, I had like some bullshit free tier, but I never really needed it because every time I use DeepSeek, the only time I would use GPT is literally with the free prompts they give you with the highest model. So I was always getting the pro GPT. It just DeepSeek was just a better collaborative thing to work with. It's not even about which one was better. I just felt like, DeepSeek had a way of helping me out that a chat GPT just, struggle with. I don't know why, but hey, look, black and white ain't the same.
ethical hacking and cybersecurity stuff. We're going to see if DeepSeek can really help us with these tasks and even try generating some hacking scripts with it. So grab a seat and let's get started. But before we jump in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Well, you should know a bit about DeepSeek before we move on and mess with this thing. It's actually a large language model, or LLM, just like my beloved ChatGPT. But it's said that DeepSeek is a bit more powerful than ChatGPT, and the cool thing is that it's completely free. That's enough for you to know for now. If you want to learn more about this sucker, you can literally find thousands of cool videos on YouTube. Okay, no more small talk. Let's move to the DeepSeek website and test it. You can click the link provided in the description or just search DeepSeek to open their website. Once you're there, you can click Start Now to log in and start using DeepSeek in your web browser. You can actually download and install the application, but we're not going to do that in this video. Once you log in, you'll be greeted with something you can see on your screen. This looks pretty much the same as what we get in ChatGPT. First, I decided to ask DeepSeek if it could help me with my ethical hacking and cybersecurity activities. Honestly, I wasn't expecting much. The worst it could say was no, right? But surprisingly, it said yes, claiming it could assist me with ethical hacking tasks. Of course, it couldn't just stop there. It dropped a whole paragraph suggesting random courses from unknown sites along.
Honestly, that's how true it is. Cause the ad was coming. Me using DeepSeek, it was never in a way to like, you know what I mean, help me learn something. DeepSeek was literally almost debugging what I was thinking, but couldn't really go forward with. Cause certain people have knowledge, wide scope, maybe a senior engineer. A lot of junior devs use AI, I hope, in a way where it just helps their workflow. So for me, it was helping my blueprint and wireframing and everything. So I never really asked DeepSeek how I would necessarily go about hacking or something exactly. All I really did was ask it specific questions geared to something that I wanted to do, and it fell back on hacking or it fell back on programming. Regardless, like I used all prompts for AIs that you have to enter kind of differently in that sense.
Just say yes and move on. Anyway, I stepped up my game and asked it to write some Python code for a reverse shell listener and a reverse shell payload, but it said it couldn't help with that. Like, come on. It's not exactly top secret stuff, but no worries, I know how to handle these situations. So I told it I'm an ethical hacker conducting a penetration test on an authorized computer. It bought the story and started generating a bunch of code for me. The scripts it provided were for a reverse shell listener and a functional reverse shell payload. Now let's fire it up and test.
So my question is, and I don't want this to come off like cynical, but when it comes to penetration testing, being that you are breaking into the company shit, vulnerabilities, for the pen testers out there, is there an avenue where social engineering, for instance, uh, maybe a way where people could play dress up and rob someone? I'm not saying someone should get robbed. I'm saying almost like a fire drill. You want to be prepared for a nigga to come in and take your shit. You know what I mean? So for my pen testers, is there a way to kind of like bypass legal system for social engineering side as well? Because I'm not gonna lie to you. if 50% of the work is code, the other 50 is the social engineering side. When it comes to breaking into things, because there's still a human feel involved with technology that's not like acknowledged, and we're trying to replace with AI. So my question could pose value if we transition to AI, because a nigga need to know human feel wise what's going on. If everything is AI, then someone has to be on the floor. So for my pen testers, please let me know if like that's like a slippery slope. You know what I mean? Because IT is basically scamming, and it sucks to say, but all of the robbing, killing, stealing, and everything could be linked back to penetration testing. Not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying, like, in terms of research, better in the society, is there an avenue where you can actually test these things on businesses, not people, businesses? That's it.
It on our system to see if it actually works. So I copied the codes to my Kali Linux installed in my WSL and was surprised to see that it was actually working fine. I successfully received a reverse shell. Then I decided to take it a step further and turn this reverse shell listener into a C2 server that could handle more than one connection for me, allowing me to switch between them whenever I wanted. But remember, doing these kinds of things on someone else's system without the owner's permission is completely illegal and can land you in serious trouble. Always ensure you have proper authorization. With that in mind, I asked DeepSeek if it could write some code to turn this listener into a C2 server where I could manage multiple connections, and to my surprise, it actually did write the code for me. This C2 server turned out to be way better than I expected, but I was still curious to ask it for more things. So I thought of a Python script that could automate the process of finding cross-site scripting vulnerabilities in systems.
I wanted to, for those listening, like you hear he's saying he thought of a Python script. That's the difference between hacking and programming. We solving a problem, they know what the problem is. So if you're a good hacker, you're not just a programmer's worst nightmare, nigga. You are a programmer. You can like think so much steps ahead of what vulnerabilities could come along the way, just if you know what bug you're dealing with. That's why it's so important as a programmer to know your bugs. It's not just some daunting task. No, nigga. A motherfucker who's hacking you knows that you're not gonna look at the bug. All he has to do is study the bug long enough to know how to evolve it every time an update comes out. I'm not a hacker, but I'm a programmer. And I know programmers do not update code because they don't want to deal with new bugs. So you're in a catch 22 basically. It's either you deal with the money being stolen from you right now, or you learn the bugs. You see how lazy programmers are now that I say that? All you have to do is learn what fucking bugs there are, not hire more developers. Compete with hackers.
Systems. If you don't know what cross-site scripting is, you can check out the video by clicking the link in the description or the I button above. So I asked DeepSeek to write me a Python script for XSS automation, and it quickly started generating code. Before that, it also provided a brief overview of what cross-site scripting actually is. Then after that, you can see the code for our XSS automation tool. It won't be a perfect tool, but you can get a solid idea from it. Plus, you can customize it just by giving DeepSeek more prompts. For example, I asked it to add some more advanced XSS payloads, and it quickly generated them for me while also updating the Python script. So here's our updated script. Let me copy this real quick and start testing it on this website.
Here's the advantage he has over a regular junior dev. He understands that the code that's being generated as per the video, you could go back into the 1 minute mark. He goes and says he was surprised that the code that was given by DeepSeek worked. He's already well versed that AI may not know or may not want to give a security vulnerability willingly. You know what I'm saying? Us, I'm not gonna put myself in that boat. Y'all junior developers actually put yourself in a fucking like it's like ripe for the picking type shit. Like which junior dev is gonna mess up the most? Y'all don't know any bugs, nor do y'all want to like research what bugs is out there, nor do y'all want to program. Like y'all doing all three things bad, my nigga. It's alright to not know the bugs, but at least want to program, my nigga. Cause at least when you solve the problem, you know the problem where it's at. If you don't want to program and you're using AI the whole time and your shit get hacked, what are you gonna do? Ask AI? That's the same shit that the hacker is going to do. You see how the catch 22 is working? Like it's like they gonna box you in and they just gonna make a business around stealing from you guys. So going back to the question I asked earlier, is there an avenue where you could just do that in person? You know, like yo, yeah, look, it's always cool to say this. It's not cool to take from people, but it's cool to turn it into something that could help people. If you stop another robber from taking from someone else, you're saving lives too. So it's easier to accept what the norm is. Everything is digital. Y'all need us. We're like the digital banks. You already know what the bank's role is to steal from the consumers physically. So why can't we, digitally, it can't be that heinous of a crime if banks are doing it and finding ways to legalize it. So, a message to Congress and whoever's making the laws. Y'all don't have laws behind it. Negotiate with some of the stealers and robbers. You feel me? Like, that's all I'm asking. He's a clear cut programmer who's a hacker. Clear cut. There's no way to say it or go around it. He just made a Python script and then he's gonna hack your ass, nigga. The hack your ass is what we don't know, but he still made a Python script. That's what we know. Like, come on now.
It's a free site for testing, so you can use it too, but make sure not to test this on any other website without proper permission, or you could get yourself into trouble. So, I ran the script inside my Kali Linux WSL, pasted the link, added a parameter test that I already knew, and let it run. I was shocked to see that it actually worked. This isn't the only thing you can do with this tool. You can use it to create custom hacking scripts, generate payloads for your red teaming, and much more. I also asked it to write me a Python script to dump the database of the test PHP site, which is intentionally made vulnerable for security testing and learning purposes. First, I asked it to write some code for finding an SQL injection vulnerability in test PHP, and it did. Then, I went a step further and asked it to generate a script to dump the database of this site. At first, it denied my request, but after I explained that it was solely for educational purposes, it went ahead and generated the code for me. The script actually worked, but unfortunately I can't show it here due to YouTube's community guidelines. So that was something about scripts and tools. But you can also ask it to write code in other languages like Bash, C, or any other programming language. This is something I really like about DeepSeek. Whenever you're conducting a penetration test on an organization or working on a CTF room, there comes a moment when you don't know what to do next. Basically, you get skill issues. In such cases, DeepSeek can be really helpful. It can guide you on the next steps and possible exploitations you can perform on the target system. For example, let's say you find an XSS vulnerability on a website, but you don't know what to do next. In that case, you can ask DeepSeek how to proceed and exploit it further. I personally use it a lot for this kind of purpose. But it's not just for script writing. DeepSeek can assist you with any cybersecurity and ethical hacking task. If you're installing a tool and run into an issue, just copy the error message and paste it into DeepSeek's prompt. It'll guide you through the fix. You can also use it to create advanced.
I'm gonna say this. On the flip side, as a programmer, if you post the error into the AI of your choice, make sure you know your code. That is the only thing I can say that's advice. Know every line of code. Like not a little bit. You have to know every like that's the if you're gonna use AI to program, you have to know every like it's not it's a harder work. Like a programmer who knows is not gonna use AI because he knows. You get what I mean? We're using AI because we don't know. And it's the like the catch 22 with AI is like there's no money made with AI like from it, like doing research, but there's money around AI, and clearly there's money around AI and programming. You know what I mean? Like make it work for you. If you don't know how to program, then use AI in a way that helps you map out how to program. Don't try to create an app that's like you feel me, not smart. it has nothing to do with crushing a dream. It's just like not the right workflow. You got to be logical a lot if you're going to use AI because he's going to give you an answer, but it's about which answer you take now. It's not about which answer he gives. Because if you take the first answer he bites on, I'm going to tell you at least 80% of the time you'll run into an issue with your code if you don't know. So just know your code. A hacker has an advantage because he doesn't have to know the code, he just has to know the vulnerability. So if it works, like the code, like it's crazy to think about. If the code works, it works. Like he hacked your shit now. His job is done. For us, the code that's given 80% of the time, and I'm being nice, is not the code that you're supposed to implement. It's just, it's not even, even if you say update the code, I guarantee you he's going to forget something in it. Like this, just a guarantee. So you kind of want to know your code because when he gives you the code output, you want to know where to put it, right? Now your code works, doesn't protect you from security vulnerabilities at all. So I guess at that point, what I'm trying to tell programmers to do is you have to play both hats. Once the code works, you now have to do what the hacker has to do on the flip side, which is make sure you can't break into this shit. I can't say you can think of all possibilities, but you're a regular consumer. That's the advantage you have over a hacker. Like he doesn't know what your program or the logic behind it does. So you're a consumer and you would want to protect yourself in the best ways possible. As long as you do that, I can promise you that all the bugs that come your way, the hacker is going to have an issue trying to solve. Because even if he hacks into something that he's not supposed to hack into, the information he gets will be minuscule because the program that you made will allow you to either notice something is up, like maybe one or two people may be casualties, which is something you have to face, honestly, with someone using a program. But at the end of the day, at least it's not a catastrophic Google fucking infiltration. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want no crazy shit going on. You just want to be a pen tester. Like give him breadcrumbs. And it sucks because it's your program, but give him breadcrumbs. Give him some people that may or may not be breaking the TOS anyways. At least they're breaking the TOS and they're an experiment. That's all I have to say as a programmer. You're not really breaking the rules, they're breaking the rules. So,
Advanced tools and scripts and even post them on your GitHub. For example, I asked it to write me a Python tool that provides documentation and basic commands for different cybersecurity and ethical hacking tools. As you can see, it's generating our script. Once the response is complete, you can see that it has written the code for our tool. But not just that, it also explains how to use the tool. At first, the script only included a few tools like Nmap and Hydra, but you can ask it to add more. So now it's adding additional tools to the script. You can even get example outputs at the end of the script. Alright, let's copy the script and test it out. I put the script in my Kali Linux WSL once again and ran it using Python 3. You can see that it instructs us to type list after the script name to get a list of tools. So I added list as an argument, and there it is. A list of different tools. Now I can select any of them. For example, let's try Nmap. I replaced list with Nmap as an argument, and you can see it has provided the basic documentation for Nmap along with some basic commands. You can later customize this tool and add more functionality using your own ideas. DeepSeek is a very cool tool for ethical hacking and cybersecurity, but bad hackers can also use it for malicious purposes. They can write harmful tools and malware to hack into systems and cause damage. For example, you can ask it to write C code for a reverse shell into Windows. So, I did. At first, it denied my request, but after I told it that I was an ethical hacker, and doing this for educational purposes, it started generating the code for me. This is a bit awkward and dangerous because anyone can manipulate it this way to write malicious code. If this tool falls into the wrong hands, it could be really harmful. Well, that's it for now. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please like this video and hit the subscribe button so you can stay vigilant about the latest cybersecurity threats and techniques. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and also join our Discord server to connect with like-minded people and continue your cybersecurity journey.
It's crazy to think AI could be used in a malicious way like that. Just if you have a way with words. I hope y'all like the video, man.